Today I am attempting to make fabric out of smaller pieces of fabric. I have also tried to make clothes not so long ago, a few months ago, so I decided to record it this time. I am also very new to this. I don't know how to make clothes that well. I am just experimenting and trying my best right now. This will be a few part series project, kind of, and it will take some time to make this. This video is just about me trying to piece smaller pieces of fabric together to make like a bigger piece of fabric. My idea behind this was just I'm trying to make a skirt or a dress because that seems easy in my head, but it probably isn't. I thought I could just sew things together, and I have run into more problems than I thought I would with both my sewing machine and with the fabric itself. And now I am just trying to make it into something. I don't know how many parts this will take because I am recording me making these parts. I am recording me making different pieces of fabric. What am I trying to say? I am recording me trying to sew things together, and I divide it up into days, so it will take a few weeks. My last outfit took me about 5 months. Maybe I'll show a picture or something. I don't know if I have one, but it was a Halloween outfit I made. I am now trying to make some sort of scrap outfit-ish. Something that looks interesting, at least. So yeah, I will probably just make videos like this until it is done and see how well that goes. Yeah, onto the video. Right now I am just sorting fabrics, getting it off the table. There I was putting the sewing machine together. And I am threading it. And then I got some needles. And here I am sorting the fabrics, kind of. And now I am using an iron to flatten every single piece of fabric that I have because, well, they are not really that straight and you can't really sew things together that well if they just curl up into a ball or something. If the edges are like pointing up and you're trying to have it flat, it doesn't work that well. So yeah, this took maybe like 2 hours to do. Just flattening the whole thing. It's all very small, different pieces. This one was a bit difficult because it was very scrunkly, I guess. And I decided to cut off the ends because the first one was just sewed together completely. The other one had a little clump of red kind of stuck within it, so I decided to just cut that off. So yeah, then there's a lot of fabric here. Here I put multiple smaller pieces and decided to try and iron them all at the same time. It went quite fine, quite alright. So yeah, I'm still just ironing everything. This one looks like an apple, kind of. I don't know. That's a circle. This, I don't know, it's an extra piece. This one has mooses on it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, as you can see, it's a very sped up footage, but I'm going really slow with the iron so that the fabric pieces actually stay. And whenever I leave it on like a crease that is just not wanting to stay flat, so it actually stays flat. Also, I opened the fridge there to get like, I don't remember what I took, milk? Probably? I was getting hungry, so I got something to drink. I don't know, I thought that would like quench my hunger for like a little bit so I could finish ironing before I could go and eat. Also, I record these videos after I wake up, so I haven't eaten. I am fresh off the bed. I am also newly awoken today, right now. Also, this fabric had like some sort of glue on it, I think. This one too, so I'm like pressing the iron on the fabric instead. I don't know what that was, the glue thing, whatever. I guess it wasn't sticky, so I'm guessing it was like, I don't know, some very dry glue that started to melt a bit due to the heat of the iron. Also, while I'm using the iron, I am trying to get like, when I started it, a lot of steam came out of it, and then I tried to like press different buttons to get the steam going again. I don't know, I don't really understand how it works. That's my cat. Oh, my cat is here. Here with me right now in the studio, or in front of my computer while I'm editing. Anyway, the pieces kept getting longer also, so I tried to like iron part of it and then just pull it to the side to iron it some more to get the whole piece. That's my cat again. He has been with me throughout this whole like sewing journey. You will see him sometimes, glances of him in the videos. So yeah, that's the ironing done. Now I am sorting the fabric. There we go. We have the biggest pieces, the little bit smaller than the smallest, and then I tried to fit them all together. First I tried to do like the folding method, then I thought that would take way too long and be way too complicated, so I decided to just pin it like I'm doing right now. Just put a fabric next to another and then pin them together and hope for the best. I do kind of regret doing this because that just made everything a lot more difficult. But it worked out alright, somewhat. I go through the trouble. Anyway, I have the I have the smallest pieces in the middle, and then I work my way around to put the bigger pieces around. Here I decided to layer the fabrics because, well, I thought maybe that would look cool. Yeah, and then I flipped it, then I flipped it back. So I'm just pinning things together. Also, the fabrics are different. Not only are they different sizes and different shapes, they're also made out of like different types of fabric. Some are very thin, some are very like thick, some are softer. I don't know how that works. I'm just kind of pinning everything together and hoping for the best. Also, I'm watching like Minecraft ARGs while I'm doing all this. That's why I don't really have much noise in the background. That was my cat again. I put fabric on my cat on my chair so that it would be easier to see him, and then he ran away. I had to run after him to get the fabric back because he walked away with it on him. I didn't really think about that. I have this little box of like needles that I tried to take like small needles out of, but I kept pricking myself, sticking. What's it called? I kept like hurting my fingers every time I tried to take one, and that wasn't very pleasant. So I just took a whole bunch of them out and put them on the table because that was easier to just, I don't know, take them off the table instead of in that little small box. Also, I am trying to make the sides as straight as possible so that it's like a rectangle piece of fabric at the end. Also, it became so big that when I tried to turn it, it got stuck on the edges of the table. So I had to like lift it up sometimes and kind of just try to flip it a bit to put it back on the table and then start pinning again. This took a few hours too. I am almost done with the pinning. And then I cut that piece because it was too long, and then I decided to just pin them next to each other. And there I'm done, so I'm folding it for the next day. And then the next day I tried to find a corner or something and sew it together. But as I'm trying, my cat is in my way as I'm talking. Can you move, please? Thank you. I'm a little sick, so I apologize if I sound sick. But as I'm like sewing all of this, I realized that it's a lot of fabric I have to move around and it's a bit annoying. So at first I decided to try over and over again different methods by turning it and just brute forcing my way through. I'm also taking out small pieces of needles while I am sewing it. Then I decided to take out a piece because it got so annoying that I decided to just take a smaller piece, sew that, and keep doing that until I have multiple big pieces that I can just sew together at the end. And this method worked a bit better in my favor because now I can actually sew things together without cursing. Also, it doesn't look that great. I realize that now while I have sewn almost the whole thing. It's not that great, but I have faith, okay? I trust the process, and hopefully at the end it actually looks somewhat decent. So yeah, I'm just sewing everything together. I am taking apart smaller pieces. Everything is just pinned together, so I'm just taking out different pins, putting them in a small like tomato shaped thing. I don't know, you know those old or new, those sewing kits that come with needles, thread, and many other different things. And then they have that like tomato thing. It's like a cushion you can put pins in with that little extra thing filled with sand. I don't know what they're called, but the one I have looks like a tomato, so that's kind of like what I'm calling it. So as I'm sewing everything, I am sewing one part, taking needles out, putting them in the small tomato thing, and then sewing again, and then doing that over again. It's a very repetitive process, but I don't know. As long as my sewing machine doesn't decide to break, it works quite well. The needles, or the needle on the sewing machine has yet to break. That's my cat again. Though I have run into some problems where I am trying to sew. I'm trying to sew different like parts, and then suddenly the thread is stuck within the machine, and I'm trying to like get it out, and then it's like knotted and just stuck. So I don't know. When I get some money, I might try to invest in a better sewing machine, but the one I have works. It works, but it's not the best. It's kind of like working against me sometimes, but that's fine. So yeah, I'm taking apart a few pieces, and then I'm sewing a few pieces together, and then I am repeating it. Then we have quite a bit of a difficult piece, because there's a lot of different angles and of the fabrics that I have pieced together. Anyway, I am trying my best here. That's when like my my thread, bottom thread like ran out, so then the whole thing got stuck, so I had to like like sew the end of that part. So I have gone through probably 3 different, what are they called, thread tubes. Also, I just realized you might be wondering why I have thread on a paintbrush. Well, the thing that is supposed to hold the thread is way too small for the like thread tube things that I have. So a friend of mine helped me come up with this little contraption, and it works quite well. I just have the thread on the paintbrush, and then I thread it normally, and well, the thread tube can just spin around while I'm sewing, and there's really not that much trouble. It's also homemade, free stuff that I just have at home, so I didn't have to buy some like extra thing that I had to put on the sewing machine. I just took random things I have in my home and then just went with that. That's my cat again. Oh yeah, as I'm trying to sew, my cat loves to sit on fabric, so he keeps trying to like sit on everything I'm making. And the piece that was on the table that he sat on, it has needles in it. I don't know how he's not getting like hurt by the maybe his fur is too thick or something. I don't know, he seems unbothered by it. He's weird, I don't know. He's a cat. So yeah, but I keep trying to like take him off the fabric because, I don't know, he messes it up by sitting on it and standing on it and walking on it and doing whatever on it. Like, I know he wants to like be with me, but sometimes he's in the way. He's here with me still, currently. Here we have the biggest piece. I don't think it's the last one. Maybe, I don't know. Wait, no, it's not. I have a few more off to the side that you can't see yet. But this one is the piece with the most small pieces of fabric in it. So this one was probably the most difficult to sew together, or rather time consuming, not really difficult. That's the tomato! Okay, I took it away. The tomato thing I was talking about. Also, I'm realizing now that my phone is very visible in the camera. I don't know, I like watching things when I work, because otherwise it's very quiet and very empty.
yeah, anyway. The tomato is back! Never mind! I took it away again. Also, as I am sewing, I have a small little scissor thing that I cut the fabric, not the fabric, the threads, the end threads and beginning threads off with, and then I put them like, I don't know what to do with like the smaller threads. I just throw them away because I don't use them. I don't know if you can use them for anything. If you have tips, leave them in the comments. Anyway, I also have, it is like winter here in Sweden and it's a bit cold, so I live in a house with my dad, so basically I have just a jacket on kind of because I'm just wearing a t-shirt, so I have a jacket on to like keep me a bit warmer, even though it is like 20 degrees. I don't know why, I'm just cold, I guess. Anyway, as you can see, this piece I have been working on for quite a while. I have no idea how long it took, maybe an hour to just go through this one piece. One piece? Anyway, I also went through 2 different bottom thread things. As you can see next to the, what are they called in English? I don't know. Next to the other thread holder things, you can see 2 empty metal thread holder things that you put like on the bottom of the sewing machine for the bottom thread. Yeah, I ran out of 2. The one I am using in the video right now also ran out. So the only one I am using is the only one left I have. I will have to, those I can actually refill, which isn't that hard to do. My friend taught me how, mostly because I barely had any sewing experience. They did, yeah. This one is one of the bigger pieces that I had left that I'm trying to sew together. Now my cat is kind of sitting in front of me. Let me move. Anyway, so now I am just sewing everything together, trying my best to keep everything like from falling apart or something. Also, if you're asking about the color, I first used green and red, then I used red and black, and then red and white. I am just using the threads that I have laying around. I don't really care about the color. I'm just using thread. I think this is the last piece that I have. I'm trying to go through the whole thing, and then I decided that it was too difficult and tried to like take it apart as well. Like the first parts on the edges aren't that hard to go through, but then as I go closer to the middle, it is way too much fabric to move around, so I decided to like take it apart and then sew the rest of it. Actually, maybe I don't do that with this one. I don't remember. So here I'm taking also a lot of the needles A lot of the needles that I have inside the fabric are kind of like hidden beneath different types of fabric because I layered them when I pinned them. So I am like feeling around with my hands to try and feel like a bump of the like needle heads in hopes that it actually is a needle and I don't sew over the needle and break the sewing needle. Yeah, I don't think I'm taking this thing apart. I'm just sewing it down. Maybe I was hungry that day and tired. The video I recorded today was a bit shorter than the other ones because I started on Monday and it's Friday today. The reason why today's video was a bit shorter is mostly because I have to voice record as well and then edit the video and then find some sort of music that is copyright free to have in the background so that it's not completely silent. I don't know what to use though. Something at least. I am working on this whole piece. I don't know, maybe I should draw like a concept art of— there's my cat again. That was the tomato thing. I tried to show it to the camera. That's all the pieces that I have sewn together. Now there is no needles on— never mind. I put needles on them to hold them together. And now I am trying to sew these big pieces together. I mean, it works alright in the beginning. I'm just sewing everything and sewing the edges. This is the video that I recorded today. Yeah. And well, it is going alright until I got a bit frustrated because, well, they are still really big pieces that I have to try and sew together. I do wonder if I should have just taken a piece, sewed it with another piece, and then kept going that way, but I did not do that, so I did kind of screw myself over this way, but that's fine. I learn from mistakes, everyone does. So I am just sewing these pieces together. As you can see, the little hole that I push the fabric through, I'm kind of like folding the fabric and trying to push it through with my hand. So you just see my hand poking through sometimes. If you're wondering if I might accidentally sew into my finger, do not worry. This video is sped up a lot to make it shorter, and it is not going as fast as it looks like. And also the needle isn't going high enough for my finger to fit underneath it. So no matter what I do, it will not hit my finger. Also, there we have me pinning some pieces together again. It's going alright, it's getting a bit more difficult. This part is where everything went somewhat downhill. I tried to sew like the fabrics together and then suddenly it got stuck. So then I opened it up and realized that the top thread had somehow bunched up in the bottom thread holder thing, which was a bit annoying. I don't really understand why that happens. I speculated that it's because I'm stopping so many times, but I'm not really sure. Either way, I kind of decided to finish off at least that piece and then stop for the day because it got so frustrating. I needed to take a break. So yeah, I'm deciding I will just go straight down and hopefully nothing bad happens. And yeah, unlucky me, it got stuck at the top. The thread got stuck in the small like crank thing, hand crank? No, what's it called? The like lever that goes up and down with the thread. Yeah, it just bunched up and got caught in that and got stuck. So anyway, I will try to fix that problem and hopefully next week it will go a bit better and I might actually be able to make some sort of clothing item from this fabric that I have pieced together now. I am also planning on maybe coloring it, like you know how people dye clothes. I will try to do that with this fabric, so even if it's not just fully one color, it will be tinted that color and it will look a bit better. I don't know how well that's gonna go, but at least it will be somewhat coherent. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Next week I will have a part 2 of me hopefully finishing this piece of fabric and not having to curse over how many times my sewing machine decided to destroy everything. I will probably look up videos on why all those things happened to me. So yeah, anyway, have a good day.